What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video preview. Today I'm excited because we are going to take a look at a reissue slash re-release 2.0, whatever you want to call it, the Batmobile from the '89 Batman. And whenever it's available, you can head over to bigbadtoystore.com. $4 shipping. This guy is big, so you know you gotta save on shipping right there. I'll put the link down below whenever it's available. But let's talk about this guy. This is one of the most sought after slash grails out there for collectors. It's been released ages ago and it's really hard to come by. If you ever see one, you'll probably get it for $800 to $1,000. So having it re-released, I don't know what the price is. I would say kind of similar to Tumblr, around $600-700 range, you know, including if you put in tax and shipping. That's kind of how it's gonna be. The first release does have its issue, especially being scratched while being sent out. So that is one of the most scariest thing, especially if you're buying this in the aftermarket nowadays, because even if it's sealed, when you open it up, you don't know what you're gonna get. Maybe the matte paint is already scratched, because they do have this cover back then that kind of rubs off of it. So it's not the seller's fault, it's just how it is. But now you're out of luck because obviously it's been released years ago and it's not Sideshow. They're not going to replace it. But hopefully they remedied that issue. Now with the vehicle itself, again, it's a great time to be a vehicle collector. You got all the most iconic vehicles being reissued or being done again, which is the DeLorean 2.0. You got this Batmobile, I would say I'll call him a 2.0, and there's like the Ghostbuster Afterlife. Yes, it's not a direct thing from the same movie, but it could do, right? It could stand in for that. So that by in itself, you have the three most iconic vehicles in 1/6 format. You got a chance again, and honestly, I would love to own those three vehicles. The biggest problem or the biggest hurdle for me being a vehicle collector is the space. Could I buy them? Sure. Could I throw them behind me and just sit on the floor? I could do that as well. But it's not doing justice to the vehicle itself. It needs to be showcased. It needs to be formally, I would say, displayed for it to be appreciated. Otherwise, it's just sitting there. And I've experienced that. I've owned a Tumblr, Camo Tumblr, and it was difficult. It was a difficult place. It was a difficult task to display them, because now you're thinking on your head. If you put them on, let's say you have a display case, module case, for example. Now you're thinking, I could have put 10 more figures in place of this Batmobile. So now the space game comes into play, and would I rather be displaying this guy or 10 more Hot Toys? Because Hot Toys is easy to purchase, especially at $200-300 a pop right now compared to this, and they're easier to display as well. You just have them stand there, have them stand next to another Hot Toys. But this, it needs to be strategic. You can't really overcrowd a space when you display a vehicle, so it needs to be planned. And I'm not a guy with a plan like a Joker, so most likely I would appreciate this from afar. But I still love the fact that it exists. I love the fact that it's out there, and I'm happy for anyone who's gonna get it. Hey, you never know, I might still get it, right? I might make room for it. I highly doubt it, because the figures makes more sense to me in what I love to do, which is photography and pictures. These guys are hard to move. Ideally, when you buy them, it stays in one place for a long time. You kind of revolve around it. Maybe you put Batman next to it. Maybe you take Batman away, change the lights, maybe change the background a bit, maybe put some diorama around it. But ideally, you don't want to take him in and out, because I had a Tumblr, and it feels like you're gonna break them every time you hold it. So that is the difference between these guys. It's kind of like when you hold them, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But that's pretty much about it. Other than that, it's awesome. It's iconic, and it does have a presence. It has this even if I'm gonna be honest, if I didn't collect Hot Toys that much, I probably would have started with vehicles and revolved around it. It would have been a lot. Display wise, nothing comes close to it because they're massive. There's a lot of details, and because they're big, you can appreciate the details a lot more. If you were a newer collector, I would say the best, and you just like display, right? And you don't want to purchase statues because they're expensive, and you want to post figures around. I would recommend two things. Start off with quarter scale, collect the vehicles and the Hot Toys or figures associated with those vehicles, so you don't have to deal with collecting a line, and your display option would be limited too. And the figures that you buy is limited, therefore you don't have to buy as many things, therefore your display would look a lot cleaner because you just kind of revolve around, let's say, quarter scale and vehicles. That's what I would have done if let's say I'm starting now and I don't like photography that much, if I'm purely just display guy, because it would save you money. Really, you don't have to look for vehicles all the time because they're really hard to come by. And if you buy, let's say, this Batmobile, you just buy the supporting figures next to it, the 89 Batman. If they re-release a Joker, sure. Now, if you're buying DeLorean, you're just gonna buy 2 figures from that line. You buy Ghostbuster, that Afterlife. I don't know if they're gonna re-release the 4 Ghostbusters again. Maybe you can buy them. Maybe the Ecto-1. It's still an Ecto-1. So, and therefore you stop right there. Yes, you don't kind of enjoy the other amenities of Hot Toys like the DC and Star Wars, but hey, your display would look clean. So if you like Star Wars, you could start with quarter scale, maybe just get that, I don't know, that Boba that's gonna come out, Mando, Spider-Man. But again, I said it before, quarter scales, because they're big, they have more shelf presence, therefore your display looks a lot better in my opinion. And then you put this in around it, man, that would look really clean, and it's not cluttered because you don't technically collect 1/6 at that point. But man, this looks so good. I'm really tempted, and honestly, I sold my tumbler back then, and it's available now. I'm tempted to get that too. I'm not gonna lie, if that falls into somewhat of a 400 range, I might still get that, and I'll think about the space later. And I think I'll do the same approach with this one. I don't think it's gonna hit that mark, but you never know. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this vehicle. Are you gonna purchase it? You're gonna pass on it? Love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.